Picking up your phone to dial, search the web, check your email, take pictures, use apps, even flip through your music, all considered distracted driving under the new law. It's a good thing I'm not actually driving, and this is just a green screen. But for people actually on the road, the new law is bringing some mixed reactions. The new inspections won't only cost you more money, but those who work under the cars as well. Nathan's collections should be frightening to a person with Williams syndrome. But Nathan has found a way to turn fear into fun.
First priority, because of the damage to the shed already, was keeping the house from burning.
I spoke with the homeowners and they were very distraught. They said that shed was their sole source of, or one of their main sources of income, their livelihood. They were very shaken up, but still glad that nobody was seriously injured. Back to you, David. But for these students, it's more than just art on the side of a bus. They hope that when these doors open, their art inspires change. At Walker Cinemas, 80% of their profit comes from concessions. But even though they have lower prices on drinks and popcorn, that still doesn't stop moviegoers from bringing outside food in.
USU has a shiny new toy on campus. To play with it takes a little more training than you may think. Brandon Fonda is live to show us more about the aviation department's flight simulator. Brandon?
That's right, Jason. A shiny new toy with a lot of switches and stuff. I took a simulated ride to Arizona, and it was so realistic inside that when we landed and I got out, I thought it was going to be hot outside.
We have Brandon Fonda live outside with breaking news on a bomb threat here in Logan. Brandon?
That's right, you guys. About 1 o'clock today, the Logan City Police were called about a bomb threat at the South Logan Walmart. After the call was made, officials quickly evacuated the store. Now, when I was there, I saw a bomb squad going into Walmart, but we still aren't sure whether they found anything or not. Back to you, Brianna. Now, that may sound a bit backwards, but students need to learn the fundamentals in a small airplane like this one before they hop into the jetliner. No Shave November is in full swing right now, and as the days go by, the beards get longer. Except for mine. Not really. There wasn't always a maze in the 30 acres of corn. But 10 years ago, little bare bottoms got this family out of a maze of financial difficulties. Mars may be a long ways away, but a company going on a mission to the Red Planet is right in our own city. We went to Wasatch Photonics in Logan to show you how science and art might help with new discoveries. Now that the competition is over, the judges will decide which magician amazed them the most. They're cute and cuddly, but they may not be for everybody. In fact, Allie doesn't let just anybody take them home. But football's a violent sport. And rule changes just aren't enough. Every time you start your car, you add to this. That's why as of January 1st, 2014, Cache County residents are required to pass an emissions inspection.
I don't like it one bit.
It does kind of suck having to pay more just to be able to drive on the roads.
There's roughly 80,000 cars in Cache Valley, and the average emissions inspection is $15. That means Cache Valley drivers will pay upwards of $1.2 million this year. And that doesn't include repairs if your car fails. The new inspections won't only cost you more money, but those who work under the cars as well. Mechanic John Murdoch feels that the emission fees are too low.
Just have the $15 fee and to do the test won't make the monthly payment on the equipment.
He only makes money if they fail, which doesn't happen very often.
4 or 5%, I would guess.
But if the county had it their way, emissions testing wouldn't be required.
Initially, the county council voted 5-2 to not do it.
But the Environmental Protection Agency disagreed with the council.
We were strong-armed in doing it.
And the threat of penalties were too much to ignore.
The EPA has the power to restrict highway funding, and there are millions of dollars that come into Cache County to help us work with our highways.
But not everybody disagrees.
I would say that I am for emissions testing, definitely. I think it's worth it to pay extra money.
The benefits is it's going to have an improvement on our air quality. I mean, it's not going to be a huge improvement.
Not a huge improvement, but good enough for Uncle Sam.
You know what? In the end, when the federal government says, are you going to do it or are you not going to do it? We said, you know what? We're not going to succeed from the union. We're going to do emissions testing.
There are many labs on campus, but only one that gets to smash stuff. The College of Engineering Structure Testing Lab, or SMASH Lab for short, gets to do just that. We show you how smashing can help with creating. The SMASH Lab here at Utah State helps others build bridges by destroying them.
Labs such as the SMASH Lab are really unique in the ability to test structural components to failure.
Something that this ram or smasher can do fairly easy.
Almost, break anything that we need to.
Pushing this button applies thousands of pounds of pressure per second.
That's 2,000 pounds right there.
Up to 1.2 million pounds of force, turning rebar into scrap metal, cement into dust, and bridge beams into broken ones. After this beam is crushed, students analyze the data and then publish it, so other institutions can build better bridges in the future.
We give that report to the U.S. Department of Transportation with recommendations on how we can better our design methods.
And to better those designs, students tested the weight capacity on this 49-year-old bridge. It broke at 359,000 pounds. They also do test deflection.
During the test, it takes readings as the load is applied. And it will take a reading at the failure point also, so we know exactly how far that moves.
Failure tests that students run in here so that they don't happen outside the lab.
The I-35 bridge in Minneapolis that failed a few years ago, those are high-profile failures, and we need to do everything we can to make sure that those don't happen again.
A responsibility that these students take pride in.
We are dealing with life safety. It's a lot of burden on your shoulders, but it's also very challenging and very fun.
The SMASH Lab also tests columns and floor strength to make sure that buildings are earthquake resistant. A new law will try to shift your habits every time you take the wheel. Habits that take your hands from controlling the car to controlling your phone.
Distracted driver amendments.
That's why Utah lawmakers passed a new distracted driving bill, which says a person may not use a cell phone while operating a moving motor vehicle on a highway in this state to manually write, send, or read a written communication.
You basically can use voice actuated. You can talk to your phone and have your phone do whatever you tell it to, but you can't use your hands to manipulate your phone.
Which he thinks will make Utah roads safer.
People need to remember this is an enormous responsibility to operate a vehicle, and we got to do the best job we can, and this law helps us do that.
And drivers will have to change fast. Come May 13th, when the law takes effect, local law enforcement doesn't expect to show much leniency.
We're just going to keep enforcing it the way we have been, and I don't suspect, it's not going to be a huge transition.
Picking up your phone to dial, search the web, check your email, take pictures, use apps, even flip through your music, all considered distracted driving under the new law. It's a good thing I'm not actually driving, and this is just a green screen. But for people actually on the road, the new law is bringing some mixed reactions.
I think that the new law is a good idea. It will reduce a lot of accidents. I definitely think it's a good law.
But for others,
I think it's dumb.
Especially when it comes to music.
I don't really see that big of a difference between me pushing the radio and like changing everything on there to me pushing the arrow on my phone.
I'll probably still do that until I get a ticket, if I get a ticket.
Now, if you do get that ticket, it will cost you $100, but not everything will get you pulled over. You can still pick up and talk on your phone if someone has called you, and you can still continue to use your phone as a GPS.
Oh my gosh!
Nathan Bringhurst loves soap.
Whoa, look at all that. There's more than 2,000 right here.
He's giving us a tour of all his collections.
Oh my heck, I'm in love with this one.
And his first collection is all over the house.
2,000 bars full at least. It's hard to pull out.
His soap is everywhere. I mean, we can't open a drawer in one of the rooms of the home that it's not filled with bars of soap.
The next two are in his room.
It's a nice one.
Basketballs.
They do this to register shots and it makes me laugh.
And ceiling fans. One thing in common with all of his collections,
it makes a rrr sound.
He loves the noises they make.
The stencil is my favorite.
Nathan was born with Williams syndrome.
They have really sensitive ears. It's called hyperacusis. So something that normally would not bother us would really bother him.
I'll push this one. This one's not too loud.
Like his collection of blenders or vacuums. Nathan's collections should be frightening to a person with Williams syndrome. But Nathan has found a way to turn fear into fun.
I think it makes him feel secure if he can figure out where the source of that sound is coming from.
He got this shiny new vacuum a couple weeks ago.
Oh, that's my God, it's cold.
But his favorite? The Windsor, something he used to be scared of.
And when I was little, I used to get scared of vacuums. And so now that I'm older, I love them now.
Nathan actually wrote a little jingle about vacuums, sent it to Windsor. They actually came out to his house and gave that blue and white vacuum to him.
That's awesome. I want to hear the jingle.
He was a great guy, yeah.
That's awesome.
Really fun.
Absolutely.
Every time I go. My mom raised me to.
Sneak candy into the movie theater?
Most people do it.
Yeah.
Big bag of Swedish fish.
Box of pizza. Already popped bags of popcorn.
Sneaking candy into movie theaters
We just carried it between us. With the big bag or the big coat.
is the norm.
It's all about confidence.
That's because before your movie starts at the Logan Megaplex, you can expect to pay $3 to $4 for candy that would only cost you $1 to $2 at the gas station. A large popcorn, $6.75. A large drink, $4.50.
They charge unfair prices.
But there's a reason why theaters price higher.
What show for you guys today?
Selling popcorn is how they make money.
A Snicker and a nut roll.
At Walker Cinemas, 80% of their profit comes from concessions. But even though they have lower prices on drinks and popcorn, that still doesn't stop moviegoers from bringing outside food in.
We try and keep our prices pretty reasonable so we're not gouging you, but yet we're trying to make a profit.
But even though their popcorn, drinks, and candy are $1 to $2 cheaper than the Megaplex, it does nothing.
We did the free summer children matinees. We paid the ticket, and that was a nightmare. We had more people come in than we've ever had, but we had so much more stuff brought in. I couldn't believe it. And they didn't pay a dime to walk in the door.
So whether you save a dime or overpay by $10, Patty thinks outside food
Jerky, beef jerky.
is a permanent problem.
It frustrates me.
Out of the dozens of people we talk to, only one follows the rules.
Buying popcorn or a drink there isn't the worst thing.
For the rest of the rule breakers,
A whole bag of hot tamales.
Patty's only defense is a watchful eye.
I escorted a lady out to her car. She wanted to bring her Subway sandwich, and we went in the rounds. And boy, I walked her physically out to her car. And she was like, I'm bringing this sandwich in. And I'm like, then you are not coming in this theater. She told me she didn't know how I sleep at night because I'm so dishonest. And wow.
Brandon Fonda.
We went the rounds over that.
ATV News. Coming up on ATV News. Parking spots like this can be hard to find on campus, but will that be changing soon? There's a new distracted driving law. That means no more selfies for you. Paradise wasn't so peaceful last night. We'll show you what lit up, only to come down. On ATV Sports, a trick play that you gotta see to believe, high school football highlights, and the men's basketball team wants you. It's chilly today and we had our first frost of the season, but is there more frost in the forecast? It's all coming up on ATV News. Welcome to ATV News, I'm Brandon Fonda.
And I'm Aaron Griffiths.
Utahns are already going to Idaho to buy liquor with higher alcohol content. Our Chris Hyde shows us how there might be another reason for you to make the trip. So far, Kappa Delta has raised over $3,000 and you can still donate.
All right, Brandon, so there's blue skies out there right now. I know it wasn't earlier, but Logan's actually received quite a bit of rain the last couple months. And fun fact, we've actually received more rain than a city that's known for the rain. I want to see any guesses. What city would it be?
Well, it's probably not Las Vegas or Phoenix.
Probably not. Is that your guess?
Yes, it's not Las Vegas.
I guess we'll see. Let's check it out.
For the second year in a row, a hospital in our area is celebrating a national award. Logan Regional Hospital is among the top 100 Truven Health Analytics hospitals in the nation. The Truven Award is not something hospitals can apply for, and unlike other awards, hospitals do not pay to display the honor. Instead, Truven Health researchers analyze publicly reported data to rate a hospital's performance based on safety, quality, service, and value. According to Truven Health, if all hospitals in the U.S. performed at the level of this year's winners, nearly 165 additional lives could be saved and nearly 90,000 patients could be complication-free. All right, over to soccer. The Aggies traveled to Texas for the weekend. On Friday, they beat Sam Houston State 3-0, but Sunday's match ended in a 1-1 draw against Houston. The Aggies tied it up in the second half, but after double overtime, neither team could beat the Keepers. Both the soccer and the volleyball team are home this week and play in-state rival Utah. The Aggies went on to lose both games. They're away this weekend, but they do return home May 2nd for their final home series of the season. Off to track and field. They jumped, they ran, they threw stuff at the Mark Faldmo Invitational on Friday and Saturday. It was the first and only home track field meet for the Aggies this season.